Hi children, good morning. My name is Girish. I teach biological sciences for you. Children, you know that biology is a subject starts from 8th standard. In 6th and 7th standard, all the subjects are combined in one book, whereas from 8th standard, the subject is separated. So you have two textbooks. One is physical sciences and other one is biological sciences. And you know that biology is the study of what, children? Yes, it is the study of living organisms. So what is biology? Biology is the study of living organisms like plants, animals and some microorganisms also. So biology is the study of plants, animals and microorganisms also. So in 8th class you have learnt about microorganisms. World of microorganisms part 1, world of microorganisms part 2. So 2 lessons you have already learned about the microorganisms. So these microorganisms are very small. We can't see with our naked eye. Then how can we see that microorganisms? Yes, with the help of microscope. So the study of microorganisms is called microbiology. So what is the study of microorganisms, children? It is the study of microorganisms is called microbiology. So here also the word biology is there. So biology means study of living organisms. Here the living organisms are microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, protozoan, fungi, algae. All these comes under microorganisms. Next one, plants. Children, you know that plants are very important, and these plants gives us so many things in the earlier classes, right? In 4th class and 5th class you have learned plants gives us shelter, plants gives us clothes, plants gives us food, like that. So not only these things, children, not only the basic things, plants also give so many things which we use in our daily life. Next one, animals. So animals, right from small living organisms to the largest one. If you take the blue whale is the largest animal, okay, which is present inside the water. But the largest animal on the land is elephant, okay. But more than if you compare the weights, blue whale is the largest one, but it lives inside the water. So whatever the organisms it might be, the study of animals is called zoology. Okay, the study of animals is called zoology. Zoo means animals. Zoo means animals. Okay, so logo means study. Then what is the study of plants, children? Yes, study of plants is called as botany. The study of plants is called as botany. So in the botany subject, in the intermediate, in the next year you are going to learn, okay, in botany subject there are various branches like ecology, okay, physiology, anatomy, okay. Like this you can learn so many branches. In zoology also you are going to learn about the different types of animals, classification of the animal kingdom, ecology once again, okay, physiology, okay, respiration, reproduction, all these things are covered in this subject. So what I am going to tell you is, here biology is nothing but the study of living organisms. You know that there are two types of things, living things and non-living things. Okay, so this you have learned in your 2nd class or 3rd class, but here we are particularly learning about mainly biology. Okay, so mainly the living organisms. So living organisms are very important, and these living organisms are classified into 3 groups: plants, animals and microorganisms. Children, you know that what is the difference between plants and the animals, children? Tell me one difference. Yes, plants are the things which cannot move. That is called as, the movement is called as, in biological terms, the movement is called as locomotion. Okay, locomotion means what, children? Movement. Locomotion means movement. Children, have you observed any plant moving from one place to another place? No, not at all. Plants cannot move from one place to another place. They are fixed in one place. They are fixed in one place. Whereas animals can move from one place to another place. Children, now you are in the classroom. After the school hours, okay, what you will do? You will go to your home. And during Sundays or any holidays or any festivals, you will be roaming to different tourist places or different malls or cinema theaters or restaurants. Yes or no? Can we expect the plants like that? No, children. Why? Because plants are fixed in one place, whereas animals will be moving from one place to another place. And tell me one more difference, children, between plants and animals. Yes. One more difference is plants grow throughout their life, children. Plants grow throughout their life. This is very, very important. In plants, the growth occurs throughout the life. Growth occurs throughout the life. What about the animals, children? No. Animals cannot grow throughout their life. The growth is restricted up to certain age only. Children, now you are in 10th class. Your age is 14, 15 or maximum 16. Okay, so your growth will be 2 more years, children. 2 more years. Up to intermediate second year, you will find the growth in your body. And after that, I mean up to 18 or 19 years maximum. And after that, can you expect your growth up to 70 years, children? If you will grow up to 17 years like plants, you can see the growth like this. Now we are, the normal height is 6 feet, children. What is the normal height? 6 feet. If you will expect your growth throughout your life, you have to see the persons like this, children. So that is impossible. So that is the main difference. One difference is movement, the other difference is growth. So in this, mainly in 10th class biology, you will be having 10 chapters, children. How many chapters? 10 chapters. In those 10 chapters, the first chapter is the nutrition. What is that, children? Nutrition. So before going to the actual topics of this lesson, I will ask one question, children. Children, what is the meaning of nutrition, or what is the meaning of nutrients? You know that every living organism require or need food. Yes or no? So without food, we can live for only few days, children. Without food, we can live for only few days. Imagine if you won't eat in the morning, in the afternoon, and even the night also. So what will happen? Can you sleep properly, children? No. You can't sleep properly in the nights if you won't eat from morning to evening. That indicates that food is required. Why the food is required, children? Yes, the first one is growth. So right from when we are in our mother's womb, what I am telling here is, when we are in our mother's womb, the growth starts. So the growth starts in the 9th class. You have already learned. Okay, in 9th class, you have already learned the classification of living organisms. Yes or no? So here I am telling about the human beings first. So imagine, and you know that what is the gestation period of the human beings? Gestation period means the period in which the baby lies inside the mother's womb. The period in which the baby lies in the mother's womb is called gestation period. Yes, that is obviously 9 months or 270 to 280 days. So if you will observe any pregnant lady, when she has conceived, when she is conceived means got pregnant. Okay, right from first month to 9th month, if you will observe her uterus size, her belly size. Okay, so what you will observe, children, right from first month to ninth month. So okay, so slowly the size will be increasing. That indicates that the baby size will be growing. That means the growth of the human beings starts when we were in the mother's womb. After fertilization, the zygote is formed, and zygote develops into embryo. Zygote develops into embryo. Slowly there will be the growth in the embryo. And after the childbirth, if you see, children, have you seen the newborn babies anytime? Yes. So if you will see the newborn baby, he or she will be very small, and the hands and the size of the legs also very small. And imagine the newborn baby after 5 years. What you will observe? There will be growth in the size of the entire body, not only in some part, children. Understand? Entire body growth will take place, and you people also comes from that stage only. Now you can see, after going home, you just ask your mother to bring the album of your first birthday, and you can see your second birthday change, third birthday, fourth birthday, fifth birthday. And when you are in fifth class, sixth class, okay, anyway, the school management will take the group photos. No, you can just refer that photos, and you can see that there will be change in the growth entire body. Okay, so for that growth, what is required? Food is required. What is required, children? Food. And next, we are going to learn about the types of nutritions and how the plants perform a very important process, that is photosynthesis. And mainly in this lesson, we are going to learn about the nutrition, the nutrients, and the process of that are two types of nutrition, children. Three types actually: autotrophic, heterotrophic, and mixotrophic. And how plants perform photosynthesis, what are the factors that are required for photosynthesis, what happens if plants cannot perform photosynthesis, and the second type of nutrition, that is heterotrophic nutrition of human beings. Okay, and before going to the human beings, we are going to learn about the unicellular organisms also, like amoeba, paramecium, how these animals will procure the nutrients and how they will survive. And at the same time, we are going to learn about the heterotrophic nutrition in human beings. So one concept, two concepts are here, children, in this lesson. One is nutrition, second one is digestion. One is nutrition, second one is digestion. And nutrition in plants, nutrition in organisms, nutrition in animals. So three topics are there in nutrition. In this lesson, we are going to learn mainly three topics. One is in plants, other one is in animals, and finally human beings. And in this human beings, another topic will come, children, that is digestion. And after this, we are going to learn, so what are the effects of incomplete digestion, and what happens when we can't take proper nutrition. Okay, so these are the things, and vitamins and enzymes. So many things we are going to learn in this lesson. So before going to that, so once again I repeat here, nutrition is a very important for all the living organisms. And you know that living organisms are classified into three: plants, animals, and microorganisms. So the study of plants is called botany, the study of animals is called zoology, botany, zoology. Bio means life, the study of living organisms is called biology, and mainly the study of microorganisms is called microbiology. And the difference between plants and animals, two differences we have learned. One is, what is that, children? Growth. Second one is locomotion. Locomotion means movement. So you can observe the growth of plants is throughout their life, whereas in animals it is restricted up to certain age only. And what about the movement? Can you expect the plants move from one place to another place? No, children. Plants cannot move from one place to another place, whereas animals can move from one place to another place. And next, we are going to learn about the nutrition and the types of nutrition. Okay. Yes, children. Now see the nutrition. Why the food is required, children? Already I told. First one is growth. First one is growth. First one is growth. And food is not only required for growth, children, for repair also. What is this? Repair. What do you mean by repair? Children, if in your house, if anything is repaired, like mixie or grinder or whatever, you take your cell phone, okay? Then what you will do, children? You will try by your own first. Yes or no? If the problem is not solved, then you will go for a technician or mechanic, whatever, expert, like that. Yes or no? For example, if you take the mixie. If your mixie is nothing but mixer. Okay. So if the mixer is not working properly, then what you will do by your own or with the help of your father or with the help of your mother, you will try to solve the problem. If it is not solved, then you will go to the person, okay, who is called as a technician or mechanic or expert, whatever the name you can call. Then that particular person, what he will do, first he will check that, okay, there he will check the motor, yes or no, and if there is any winding problem, yes, he will solve the problem within minutes and he will return to you. If there is any motor problem, he will take some time. So whatever it might be, there is a solution to that problem. Like that, repair in our body parts. For example, you are playing in your playground. Imagine if you are playing in your play. Daily you will play, anyway games period will be there. Suddenly, by mistake, you fell down and there will be heavy bleeding, children. Yes or no? So this is a common thing that while playing, okay, small bruises and cuts will be there in our lives, in our daily lives. Yes or no? So here, for example, if there is any heavy bleeding and if there is any heavy wound, then what you will do? First of all, anything, okay, you will go for first aid. What is that, children? You will go for first aid. What is that? First aid. So first aid is nothing but the treatment which is given primarily. Aid means treatment. Aid means treatment. The treatment which is given primarily before the person is taken to the hospital or the doctor has arrived there. Yes or no? Right. So if the person, after doing first aid, you will go to the hospital, and there, if there is any open wound, okay, heavy bleeding, and the doctor or the nurse or the head nurse, whatever the persons or whatever the people who are present there, definitely they will attempt your case, and in one department which is called as emergency department, they will treat you. And after that, definitely before attending the wound, what they will do, children? They will clean the wound and they will do the medication, and after that they will give the medicines. Who will give the medicines? Doctor will prescribe the medicines, and he or she asks you to take 3 or 4 days bed rest so that the wound will be recovered. So my question is, this entire process already you know, everyone will be facing these problems, okay, in their daily lives. My question is, what is the magic will be there in that particular 4 days time? How the wound is recovered? That is my question. Yes, you will go to the hospital, the doctor will treat that wound, okay, he will tie with the bandage and prescribe the medicines, and after going home you will take rest, and after 4 or 5 days the wound will be recovered, cured, the wound will be cured. So what is the magic there? In that 4 or 5 days, what will happen? Yes. So when we lose our skin, either partially or deeply, whatever, there will be again a regeneration of the skin, again regrowth. Yes or no? So that T can be considered as repair. That can be considered as repair, children. For example, when you are cycling your cycle, so if you find that your tire is flat means punctured, then what you will do? You will take that cycle to the puncture shop, okay, and he will take the tube out and he will keep one patch and blow the air into that, and again the tire will be implanted and you will be using the cycle. The same thing happens in our body also. So see, certain parts are there. If they are injured partially, not completely, children, one thing you remember, partially. For example, if there is any break or if there is any fracture in the bones, the fractures are of so many types, children, like simple, compound, comminuted, like that, okay, impact, so many fractures are there. So depending upon the intensity and depending upon how the bone is broken, if the bone is broken at several places, is the bone is not broken, only bent, is the bone totally collapsed, totally crushed, like that, they will see in one imaging which is called as X-ray. Yes or no, children? Which is called as X-ray. And after looking into the X-ray, definitely the doctor will go for treatment. Okay. Again, they will go for any stent, like that, any implant. They will keep one steel rod, like that. So many things are there, children, that you are going to learn in your medicine. Okay, fine. So like that, the doctor will treat you, and if there is any heavy bleeding, definitely there will be blood transfusion also into your body. So whatever these parts, this accident which has occurred to you, okay, cannot be there lifelong. Within few months you will be recovered. So in those course or in that duration, the repair will take place. So for that repair also, the food is required, children. So food is required not only for the growth but also for repair. Okay, and for reproduction, you know that for every activity you take, energy is required. This you have learned in your 6th class. Okay, for example, if you want to read, if you want to walk, if you want to run, if you want to play, if you want to do anything, what is required, children? Energy is required. And where the energy comes from? Obviously, the energy comes from the food we eat. Not only for us, children. If you take the animals, you take any living organism, okay, energy is required. Okay, that energy comes from the food. And several organisms need food to maintain the body temperature also. So growth, repair and body temperature. So several organisms require, okay, food to maintain body temperature. If the food is not in a proper condition, and then the temperature of the body will be fluctuated. Fluctuated means it will be changed, children. Yes or no? For example, if you feel very, very, very hot, then what you will go for, children? You will take the things which cools your body temperature, like coconut water or whatever. If you will feel very cool, then you will go for the hot things like a hot coffee, tea, which raise your body temperature, you feel comfort. Not only for this, this is about our external feeling, and internally the body temperature. What is the normal body temperature, children? Tell me, what is the normal body temperature? Yes, that is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 36 degrees approximately Celsius. So this temperature can be measured with an instrument which is called as thermometer. So in order to maintain this body temperature, 98.4 or 36 degrees centigrade, so with whatever the scale you take, if you take the Fahrenheit scale, so what is the normal reading? 98.4. If you take the centigrade scale, what is the normal reading? 36 degrees. So whatever the reading you take, so this is the normal body temperature. Normal body temperature. In order to maintain this temperature, the food is required. So once again I repeat, children, food is required for the growth. Already I gave example also. Food is required for repair. Not only repair for the external parts, for internal parts repair also the food is required. And food is also required to maintain the body temperature. A variety of substances are taken as food by organisms. Now let us go for, and you know that there are two types of organisms, children. One is single celled organism. One is single celled. One is single celled organisms, and another one is multicellular. Multi means many. Okay, one is a single cell, the other one is a multicellular. So you know that we are having many organs. Yes or no? We have many organs like hands, legs, brain, internal organs also, children. We have brain, we have lungs, we have heart, we have kidney. So all these organs are made from the tissues. Tissues are made from the cells. Yes or no? Yeah. So here that means we are having many cells. We are having many cells. Whereas some organisms, those organisms are ancient organisms like amoeba and paramecium. Children, in 8th class you have learnt about the amoeba and paramecium. They are unicellular. They are single celled, are also called as unicellular. Unicellular. So the unicellular organisms will be having only one cell. Now my question is, in your surroundings you will be observing different types of organisms. Leave this unicellular organism, I am telling about the multicellular organisms only. You will be having a dog, you will be having the horse, you will be having a cat, and you see small ants, you see the mosquitoes, butterflies, so many organisms are there. My question is, do all the living organisms take the same type of food material? Once again I repeat, do all these organisms take the same type of food material? Yes or no? Yes. Your answer is right. The answer is no. See children, yes, your answer is right. Why? Because you said no is the right answer. No, all the organisms can't take same type of food material. If you will observe the dog, dog may be eating the food what we eat, but that pedigree what we will give to the dog we won't eat. Yes or no? Like cat you take, rat you take, insects, okay, insects you take, and lizards you take. Lizards will be eating the insects. Can we eat the insects, children? No. Like that, there are different varieties of organisms consuming different varieties of food. Yes or no? Right. Now, let's go for the unicellular and multicellular. So, unicellular are right from unicellular organisms to higher organisms like multicellular organisms. Right from unicellular organisms to higher organisms. Varieties of organisms are taking varieties of food material. Okay. So, like amoeba you take. Amoeba is an organism which is not having a proper shape. Yes or no, children? But with the help of only one cell, it is leading the life. It is leading the life. So, like to the complex multicellular organisms like human body, right from unicellular organisms like amoeba to the complex, we are having a complex body structure. We are having many organs. And these organs will be having many tissues. Many tissues will be having again many cells. That means we are multicellular. We are multicellular. So once again I repeat here, right from unicellular organisms to multicellular organisms, each organism will be taking variety of food materials. Even within the human body, now take even within the human body, the cell requires a variety of food substances as a food to carry out the functions. For example, if you take children, we eat daily different types of curries. Maybe we eat the rice daily, or maybe we eat chapati daily, but we will go for different varieties of curries. For example, Monday if you eat lady's finger, Tuesday you will go for brinjal or tomato, whatever. and weekly once or twice you go for non-veg. Yes or no? Like that, in human body only, varieties of cells, in human body only, the statement is, in human body only, okay, different types of food materials are there. Imagine the world. So here, once again I repeat, even within the human body, the cells require a wide varieties of substances. The cells require a wide variety. Some cells requires protein, some cells requires vitamins, some cells requires so many nutrients. Okay, so minerals, all these things. So even within the human body, see, these many changes are there. Then what about the whole world, or whole universe, or whole life? So here the mode of acquiring food varies from organisms to organisms. So what I am telling here is the mode of acquiring means taking, okay, or getting the food, it differs from organisms to organisms. So you have studied in the previous class already how different organisms, okay, will be taking different types of food materials. So depending upon that, there are two types of nutrition. So one is autotrophic, second one is heterotrophic. So before going to that, let us see what are the nutrients. Okay. Children, now see what are nutrients. See here, nutrients are the substances or the things which are required for living organisms for what, children? Yes, body growth and repair. So the nutrients are the substances required for growth and bodybuilding. So here there are mainly two types of nutrition. So nutrition is the procurement of all the nutrients. What is nutrition, children? The procurement. Nutrition is the procurement of all nutrients is called nutrition. So see the difference. Nutrients are the substances required for growth and bodybuilding. So procurement of all the nutrients is called nutrition. Then what are the types of nutrients? There are mainly two types of nutrients, children. One is macro, the other one is micro. One is macro, other one is micro. Macro means big, children. Macro means big and micro means small. Macro means big, micro means small. So large. The nutrients which are required in large quantities, the nutrients which are required are the substances which are required in large quantities or major quantities are called macronutrients. Are called macronutrients. The substances which are required in small quantities or minimum quantities are called, okay, small quantities are called micronutrients. Are called micronutrients. So macro is large and micro is small. Macro means the substances or the things which are required in large quantities are called macronutrients. Micro means the substances which are required in small quantities are called micronutrients. Okay, or big or small. Big means macro, small means micro. So what are the examples for macronutrients? That means which are required in large quantities. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, these are all required in large quantities. That is why they are called macronutrients. Whereas vitamins and minerals are required in small quantities. Anyway, that we will learn in the next class. Okay, those are called as the micronutrients. So example is macronutrients. Examples is carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Micro is vitamins, minerals. So these are the examples. So the substances which are required in large quantities are called macronutrients, and the substances which are required in small quantities are called micronutrients. So whatever the nutrients, the procurement of all the nutrients is called as nutrition. Now let us go for the types of nutrition. So how many types are there, children? In lower classes you have learned there are mainly two types of nutrition. One is autotrophic, second one is heterotrophic. One is autotrophic, second one is heterotrophic. Autotrophic and heterotrophic. Auto means self, children. Auto means self. Hetero means depending on others. So here usually you will pronounce this word like auto when you will run the vehicles. Before starting you will say self start or auto start. Yes or no? Right. So here autotrophic. First one is autotrophic. Before going to the types of the nutrition, let us go for autotroph and heterotroph. Autotroph and heterotroph. See children, autotroph, auto means self, So in this meaning, in this word only there is a meaning. So what is that? Self-preparation. Self-preparation means not cooking in the kitchen, children. It's preparation of the raw material. We eat different types of food material like rice, vegetables, leafy vegetables. Where all this comes from, children? Finally they come from the plants. Yes or no? They come from the plants. So here the organisms which can prepare their own food material themselves. The organisms which can prepare their own food material themselves. Own food material themselves. Organisms which prepare own food material themselves, these are called as autotrophs. Then what are heterotrophs, children? Simply this word, the meaning is opposite to the first one. Organisms which cannot prepare their own food material. So before going to this, I will ask one question. What are the organisms that prepare their own food material themselves? Yes, children, plants. What are these? Plants, not only plants, children, some photosynthetic bacteria also. Some photosynthetic bacteria also. Plants and some photosynthetic bacteria. Photosynthetic bacteria. So organisms which prepare their own food material themselves are called as autotrophs, and such a type of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. So this is very important, children. What is autotrophic nutrition? So this is a kind of nutrition where the organisms prepare their own food material themselves are called as autotrophs, and such a type of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. Let's go for the second one, heterotroph. The organisms which cannot prepare, that means they depend on others. So organisms which depend on others. The organisms which depend on others, like animals and human beings. We can't make our own food material. Don't think that cooking is different, children. Preparing of the raw material. We get food, yes or no? That food from the plants only. So that is the very important. How the plants will prepare, that we will learn later. So here heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means not preparing their own, depending on others. Okay, this type of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. So here animals and human beings. Animals and human beings. Animals and human beings, they can't prepare their own food material themselves. They depend on the others. So the example is animals and human beings. Once again I repeat, autotroph and heterotroph. Auto means self preparation by their own. Plants prepare their own food material themselves, even photosynthetic bacteria also. Such a type of nutrition is called autotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophs means they cannot prepare children. In turn they depend. We are depending on plants and animals. Animals depend on plants. Such a type of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. Now in this class, we are going to learn the first one, which is called autotrophic nutrition. Okay.